Greetings, this is Kal Kat, the Kal Katster, and this is a review in the middle of the week of a movie, so we can get a bunch of movies done near the end of December here for the Clara Movie Awards. For doing those for 20 years. Well, the Kal Kat show has been doing them for about 9 years, but 20 years for the whole thing. Yeah, so that's what counts, the one that we're online. Movie Awards were done up as a response to the Oscars from years ago and popularity awards like the VMAs, and to have my own version of the award show, to have, you know, yeah. So I posted on the reviews channel some more of my current reviews, and on the Google blog version. That would be Quarkus Kitty, Quarkuskitty, Quarkus Kitty, and then we have this one is Weird Kitty '07. So yeah, so yeah, I did this show thing to have the Oscars in the 80s through the late 90s really were all a old fogies Hollywood popularity contest, in which if the movie was popular that year, you got an Oscar. If the movie was dramatic and weepy, it got an Oscar. If the movie was really, really serious and depressing, it got an Oscar. You rarely saw comedies, sci-fi, anything like that. They never got an Oscar. Fantasy rarely got an Oscar. There were some that were rare that got an Oscar. They have tried to buck the trend since then by snatching up art house movies and studios merging with each other, to make it look like they didn't. After really the Lord of the Rings movies is what changed all that. The Lord of the Rings in the early 2000s, about roughly 15, 16 years ago, were like, okay, well, now we have to acknowledge these other smaller groups and these other foreign groups and out there that are making movies as well, and actually say they're just as good. Then up until last year, when they finally nominated a horror fantasy movie, the Lady in the Water, a review. They gave it an Oscar. And 2 years ago it was Birdman, which was a very quirky art housey movie. Gave it an Oscar there too. So the past 2 years they've done that. They also had some nondescript movies. They still usually end up on the bargain bin within 6 months of the Oscars. So that still happens, and it still is the weepy movie wins. Although curiously, I don't know why Fault in Our Stars didn't win, because it pushed all the right buttons. Several years ago, that movie came out. It's like, why didn't this win Best Picture that year? I mean, it's like it says Oscar written all over it. Like, this movie should get an Oscar, but no. Yeah. So that's the nods this year. Anyway, this is a review of Into the Spider-Verse, but I thought I would tell you about the Oscars. Yeah, there isn't that much this year, so we're in the time period of the last 2 weeks before holiday season, and it ends, and so the last 10 days of December, and so 10, 15 days of December. So what's going on with movies? There hasn't really. That's why I decided to address that. I did some of my background stuff and some of my choices. Of course, I'm just a movie reviewer, critic guy, not being paid by anybody, doing my own stuff because I like movies. And my Oscar thing is not official, but it's a popularity contest over here. We totally admit it, and usually it's the action movie that wins, the popular action movie. And but I establish several categories, and I make my my awards thing. I say like, well, you can't give best drama to a best comedy, so you don't give a best drama to a best comedy. You give them their own category. You say best drama, best comedy, best action movie, best horror movie, and they get the best of the year in that category, which is a much better way of doing it. That way everybody wins. So yeah, in the drama category, we don't have much to work with. So this year, so we got things like a Lady Gaga movie that Star is Born. We've got the late '90s. I did not see Eighth Grade, but I heard it was good. That was a movie. The Overlord, sort of a dark movie. The Halloween in H40, that movie of horror. Yeah, comedy. Sorry to Bother You is the name of it. It's going to be probably that one. It'd be the best comedy. It was very funny comedy. That was what it was called. Action sci-fi movie. There's like 3 or 4 Marvel and Disney ones in there, but that's just a coincidence. Anyway, so yeah, we have Black Panther and Avengers: Infinity War, and we have Incredibles 2 and stuff like that. Coco was last year, so it won't be this year. So there's, and that's my little Oscar spiel, I guess, pre-Oscar spiel. Because they always wait until around late January, early February to give the Oscars. Another thing they always do is they grab a bunch of movies that came out in early January or late February, somewhere in the world in December, somewhere. And then they say, oh, look, this is the Oscar movie. Instead of just releasing them in November. The movies are done. They're sitting there on a shelf for like 2 months. They could release them in November and December if they really wanted to, but they don't. They wait, and then they say, oh, this is the Oscar picture of 2019 Oscars, the 91st Oscars. It's actually the 2018 Oscars, because it's about 2018 movies. 2019, it won't even be a thing yet. Well, for about a month. But yes, so that's my Oscars spiel. I'm going to go on to the Spider-Man movie, so I'm going to pause this.